Hey guys, sorry I have to do this again. Not saying I'm enjoying doing these things, but I suppose we've got to talk about this eventually. I suppose you've all by now have heard the sad, tragic news of the passing of another great man in our community. That's just this year alone, we've suffered a lot of great losses in the geek community, in the fandoms community, starting with Steve Ditko, John Schnepp, Stan Lee. I mean, I can list a bunch of people, but now we have the most recent addition to that unfortunate list, the passing of Steven Hillenburg. For those of you who don't know who Steven Hillenburg is or was, he was the creator and showrunner, I believe, of SpongeBob SquarePants, and honestly, a childhood hero of myself, and I'm sure a lot of other people of my generation and even kids today. Steven Hillenburg was a visionary. I believe he was honestly a man ahead of his time, much like the other people I've mentioned on this very video. I would definitely not put him in the same list. I would definitely put him in the same list, maybe not on the same level as Steve Ditko or Stan Lee, but the man did have a life, short as it was, and he created so many good things. Even just in SpongeBob, he didn't just create the character of SpongeBob, which is a character beloved around the world for its many traits and flaws, but also for what this character represents. Represents optimism in the face of no matter what, always with a smile on his face, always ready and always happy and always cheerful. And yeah, maybe it is you could say it's a dumb concept, a dumb show. I certainly wouldn't argue against that. I definitely myself think that the show, at least in its most recent years, has gone way off course. I stopped watching it after a few seasons, partly because I grew up and partly because I didn't find it very appealing to me anymore. But that is all aside for now. Regardless of my thoughts on the show did entertain me for many, many years, and it's been a big part of my life and a big part of my family as well. And I owe a lot of my late boyhood to early teenage years to this show, to SpongeBob. It has been a creative force in my life, for sure, and I'm sure it had a very similar effect on a lot of you people, I hope, at least. Steven Hillenburg has reported last year in 2017 that he suffered from a very degenerative disease. I can't remember the exact name right now, I apologize, but I believe that when he announced it, he more or less assumed that the writing was on the wall for him, much in the same way that it was for Stan Lee, much in the same way it was for John Schnepp, and this sort of thing happens a lot, unfortunately, and unfortunately it's unavoidable. It is what it is, and that is just a basic part of life, and we have nothing left to do about it than just carry on living, hard as it is, even though he passed at a relatively very young age, the young age of 57. That's crazy to me. I mean, for a man so infused with life and happiness and joy to go out like this and in such a young age, that's just tragic. So all my hearts and prayers go to his family and friends and his estate, and all of my best wishes to my fellow SpongeBob fans out there in the SpongeBob fandom, however large it may be. Remember, the show will be celebrating its 20th anniversary next year, and there is another SpongeBob movie in development right now, and I'm certain that this movie is gonna, and the next season is probably gonna commemorate and honor Steven in some way, shape, or form, as a man like him should be. So, really, all I can say at the moment is thank you, Steven, for the wonders you've showed me, myself, as a young boy, and the many other young children who have enjoyed your creations. It might not have been the most quality of shows, might not have been the most educational of shows, but it has been one of the most fun and entertaining experiences of my life, and I'm sure that a lot of other people would agree with me. And even till this day, it has become a staple of pop culture all around us, and your legacy will never be forgotten, Stephen, wherever you may be right now. So, thank you, Mr. Hillenburg. Thank you guys for listening to me, and let's hope we won't know any more grief from any more passing of our favorite creators. At least not till the end of the year. That's all I can say at this point. Good night, everybody.